everybody and welcome back to a brand new Doctor Who video. It's been a while and I don't really know quite what I'm doing, I think, because it's been so long, but I am back. We're keeping this chill. Hopefully I'm back for good. I don't want to make any promises because I feel like I do it every time and then I don't do enough videos. So this is a video. Hopefully there'll be some more. We'll see how it goes. But of course today I am talking all about the new, yet again released, series 1 to 4 of Doctor Who and the specials. For like the 5th, 6th time, and like, do we really need another release of those first 4 series? Well, let's have a little chat about it. So yes, it was announced the other day that series 1 to 4 and the specials, basically the whole of the RTD era of Doctor Who, is going to be re-released in remastered Blu-ray, whatever that means, marking, by my count, the 5th or 6th release of it. We obviously had the original DVD, both the box set and the vanilla releases, the sort of volume 1, 2, 3 and 4, which I got many, many years ago. Then we had a sort of slightly not very good Blu-ray version of it that was released, I think around 2013. They did the Steelbook version, which was just the Blu-ray version in a Steelbook. They did it as part of a series 1 to 7 box set as well. And now we have what they're calling a remastered version of series 1 to 4. Now, of course, for many of you probably know this, but in case you don't, Doctor Who was not filmed in HD back between 2005 and 2009. I believe Planet of the Dead was the first proper HD episode of Doctor Who. And so from that point onward, the Blu-rays are kind of, I mean, there are some issues with some of the later Blu-rays, but fundamentally they're fine, they're in HD, it looks pretty good. But for those first 4 and a bit series, it was all filmed in standard definition back in the mid to late 2000s, and so kind of no matter what you do, it's never going to look as good as say series 5 onwards looks, because it was filmed in standard definition. That, as much as you do some remastering, there's nothing you can really ultimately get away from that, I think. Now, one of the big things about this release that I think is going to be critical as to whether it's actually worth it or not is whether they fixed some of the fundamental problems that were apparent on the previous release of it on Blu-ray back in 2013. Because the previous Blu-ray release, the one that was done just as a physical Blu-ray and then was done as a steelbook, there was a significant problem with, I think, pretty much all of New Who, but certainly in series 1 to 4, where for whatever reason, in conversion between American formats and UK formats and things, essentially every single episode on those box sets is 4% slower than it should be, because of some issues in conversion and things, basically just some poor decision making, I think, really, where they just haven't taken the time and the effort to do it properly. Means that if you go and put your series 1 Blu-ray in and go and look at Rose and look at the runtime of it, you'll find that it's like a minute and a half, I think, longer than say the iPlayer version. Because all this formatting has been done incorrectly, and it means that the pitch of everything is slightly wrong as well, because it's playing 4% slower than it should. It's not enough to be really noticeable, but it is fundamentally like wrong. Like, it is just a mistake compared to how it should be originally. So that's kind of the absolute key critical error with the previous Blu-rays, that if that's fixed, fantastic, then these are 100% worth it, because it's a pretty significant problem when the episodes literally don't play out at the correct speed. It's not massively noticeable, but it is an issue. And so if they fix that, that's a key thing. And I think that makes these absolutely worthwhile purchasing, even if there's a lack of extra stuff as well. Because at least according to the press release and from everything we understand so far, it's very much only one additional documentary, a sort of looking back on the RTD era with David Tennant and Russell T Davies kind of little, probably half-hour documentary with a bit of nostalgia and some clips and a fresh interview with them probably discussing it, and presumably then setting up whatever's going to happen in the 60th anniversary with the Doctor and Donna as well. And that's nice, it's pretty cool, but also it's kind of a shame, I feel like, that there's nothing else additional on there. Given, we look at the collection Blu-rays that are coming out at the moment, the amount of additional stuff they throw at those. The fact is that basically all of the special features on these releases are the same as they were in 2005 to 2009. Like when they got re-released on Blu-ray in 2013, they didn't add any special features then, and now 10 years later they're only adding one special feature to it. So it feels like a little bit of a missed opportunity to add more content, to fix some things, like for example the Time Crash, the Children in Need episode from, not Time Crash, the 2005 Children in Need episode, I can't remember what it's called Born Again, something like that. But basically the scene with David Tennant and Billie Piper, the 10th Doctor and Rose's first scene in the TARDIS just after the Doctor's regenerated. The version on the DVD and Blu-ray and everything release is completely wrong. It's got the wrong music, some of the lighting and the graphics are wrong. It's basically just a completely wrong draft version of it. And yet they keep re-releasing it rather than changing it. So It's little things like that where I'm like, surely you could have changed and you could have fixed these things. But at least based on the press release, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's purely this extra documentary and then all the remastering as well. So for me, it does feel like a little bit of a hard sell. It's, you know, yes, the picture quality will probably be improved, and that's something I think we're kind of going to have to wait to really see. Hopefully the BBC will send out review copies to people in advance. Hello BBC, I'd love one. You're not going to give it to me, but I'd love a review copy, and then I'll come and tell everybody how amazing it is. I'm sure it'll be great, but it would be great to see what those things are and see the improvements to really tangibly justify whether is this actually worth purchasing or not. Because it's like 55 quid for a load of series that most of us Doctor Who fans have definitely seen before, probably watched loads of times, and probably already own on physical media, or at least can watch on BBC iPlayer. So to justify doing it all over again does feel like a lot, unless the restoration really is significantly improved. And I think it is a shame there's no real detail about that in the press release. So overall, I think it's going to be all down to whether the restoration is worth it, as to whether this is worth it, or whether it's just a bit of a money grab from the BBC. It makes sense to release it when they do, because obviously the 10th Doctor, well, essentially the 10th Doctor and Donna are going to be a key part of the 60th anniversary specials. So giving people a chance to buy and watch, particularly that season, you know, just before all the new specials come out, does make very logical sense. The return of RTD, it's RTD's old era as well, the nostalgia around it. So I do totally understand it, but it does feel like it really has to be worth it from a restoration point of view. Otherwise, you know, why bother? So guys, do let me know in the comments whether you feel like it's worth it. Is it really worth the purchase? Because, you know, I'm not too sure. I think it's debatable, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Have you already got it 4 times and you're buying it for a 5th? Have you actually never got these series before and you're going to buy them for the first time? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments below. But that's just about it from this video. I am hopefully back for the long term, recording lots of new videos in the run up to the 60th and everything to come in the future that's very exciting around Doctor Who. But for now, remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new here, because I will be doing lots of new content in the future now. And I will see you again very, very soon for a brand new video. But until then, it's goodbye.